In this video, I'm going to share with you hidden costs that, when you are not careful, can ruin your building project and finish you completely of all your finances. These costs are always hiding in the dark. Nobody is going to tell you about it. When you least expect them, then they spring up, catch you by surprise. And so today we are going to shine a light in the darkness and expose all these hidden costs so that you avoid some of these hidden costs and mistakes, pitfalls and traps. Coming up next. All right, so the very first hidden cost is the cost of transportation. Many a times when your contractors or artisans give you like a bill or an estimate for purchase of wood, purchase of cement, purchase of iron rods, tiles, whatever it is, what they don't tell you is that you are going to be paying for the transportation cost yourself. Now, depending on how far your building project is or your site is and the kind of roads you use, the costs vary. And so if you are somebody who is not used to building in Ghana, you are going to find this as a huge shock. So for example, when I was going to purchase my tiles at West Africa Decor, it's located about, let's say, 10 kilometers from where my building site is. After purchasing the tiles, which were so expensive, like 30,000 cedis, and then buying materials such as tile cement, regular cement, and all those other things, I needed to pay for transportation, and I had not budgeted for transportation because earlier on we had gone to look at the various tiles, we had put the amounts down. So when I got the money, which was about 30 to 35,000, I went to the tile shop, purchased everything, and then they said I needed to pay for transportation. They don't do delivery, so you need to go. Most of the transport owners or the car owners, the vehicles that transport materials to your building project, have strategically positioned themselves where these merchants who don't provide transportation are. I don't know if it's like some dubious collaboration between the merchants and the transport owners, or maybe the CEOs themselves are the ones who own the transport vehicles, or I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense why they don't provide free delivery. But anyways, I had to go and then negotiate the cost of transportation, and it was about 800 Ghana cedis. Goodness, that is a lot of money. So let me just give you some context. 800 Ghana cedis can buy over 100 blocks. 800 Ghana cedis can also buy about 10 bags of cement today, and I needed to pay that for transportation. And when you tell them how far you are going, and they have an idea of how terrible the roads are, sometimes the prices can just increase from 800 to 1,000 Ghana cedis or more. If you've had such an experience, please share it in the comments below. And so every time they give you an estimate, whether it's for roofing sheets, whether it's for wood, whether it's for cement, anything that you are buying, you need to factor in the cost of transportation, because these are hidden costs that, when you don't budget for, will make you very, very stranded. So assuming I hadn't budgeted, or I didn't have any extra money that day that I was going to buy the tiles, I would be stuck. I would have to be calling people and asking for loans to go and transport the materials. Again, there's a hidden cost in the fact that every time you're going to check your site and supervise your building project, you need to pay for your own transportation. And again, if you are building in a very remote area, sometimes you can drive like 10 kilometers or more to go and supervise your building project. And transportation in Ghana is very expensive. Fuel costs have increased in Ghana as well. Also, when you are taking your artisans to site and all that, you are going to be paying for transportation costs. So I think that's one of the major hidden costs that a lot of people are not aware of. Let us know how transportation costs have affected you in the comments below. The next hidden cost that most people are not aware of is scaffolding. Now, scaffolding is the things that the artisans stand on when they are working on like a height. So if they are doing painting, they are doing roofing, they are doing wiring at the roof and ceiling and all those. Scaffolding, like, it's on the perimeter. Now, the scaffolding, there are two types. There's the one you can go and rent, or you can purchase outright. Those are usually made of metal. Then there's the one that a lot of carpenters like, which is you buy the wood and then they build the scaffolding for you, right? So usually they can dismantle it when you need to move to a new project. You probably need to buy nails and stuff like that. Those ones don't last permanently because wood definitely will rot and all that, but the metallic ones are more permanent. And so you need to be able to make an informed decision. You can compare the cost of wood, the cost of labor, the cost of the nails and everything that you're going to use for building your own scaffolding versus the cost of renting it. Now, typically renting scaffolding, it's about 25 cedis to 50 cedis per part. So if you need, let's say, 10 pieces to arrange one, then that 10, if it's 50, it's 500 Ghana cedis. If it's 25 cedis, it's 250. So let me know how much it costs in your area to rent a single part. And sometimes you're going to need more, especially when it comes to roofing. So typically, scaffolding is like 10 to 20% of the total cost of your roofing work. And so if your roofing costs 40,000, you're going to pay almost 4,000 to 5,000 cedis for scaffolding alone, because they're going to take a number of days and they rent it. The cost I gave you was per day, right? Or per number of hours. And it's crazy. It's a hidden cost that many people are not going to tell you about. When they are doing painting, when they are doing the wiring, if you want to do solar, you want to do roofing, anything that they require to stand on a scaffolding, it's a lot of cost. When a carpenter used to come and do it for me, he used to charge about 600, 700 cedis a day. Crazy. And I'll be wondering, just one day you are charging me 700 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, Mason charges me about 150 cedis for the work he comes to do. So I couldn't just wrap my head around it. I tell you, it's a lot of work. He has to bring boys. It will drain you a lot. Like, total cost of scaffolding I've used throughout my building project will not be less than 20,000 Ghana cedis for roof installation, for solar, for wiring works, and for painting. That's a hidden cost that nobody tells you about. Let me know your experience when it comes to scaffolding in the comments below. And the very third hidden trap, which will drain your money, is the cost of equipment rentals. Sometimes these things may look minor, but over time, if your project goes over like 1 year, 2 years, etc., they build up in the total cost. For example, sometimes you need to go and rent, like I said, scaffolding, you need to go and rent wheelbarrows, you need to rent shovels, you need to rent so many things, head pans, that the masons and artisans would be using on your building project. Now, if you work with a contractor, usually these things come as part of the total cost. So if he's giving you the masons, the laborers, you don't have to go and worry about head pans, trowels, shovels, the one they used to cut the iron rods and all that. You don't need to go and worry about it. But if you are the type of person who wants to do it yourself and get your own masons and get your own steel benders and stuff like that, usually they would ask you to go and rent wheelbarrows, shovels, spades, all those things, pickaxe. It can get overwhelming at times because they may tell you that go and rent it for us or go and buy it for us, or they will go and rent it themselves. The time they spend away from the work is also time that they are going to charge you for. So if in a day they were supposed to lay 100 blocks, but they needed to go around going to look for these materials to rent, then they'll probably come and lay 60 blocks and still charge you the cost of 100 blocks. Or they will rent it from some place which is far away from you, and you can't even be sure of the total amount because most of these rentals don't pay you any, they don't give you any receipt on payment. So it's a hidden cost. It's going to worry you. There are lots of rentals that you are going to be doing throughout your building project. Sometimes it actually helps in saving costs, but sometimes it takes a lot. Now let me give you an example of sometimes where it helps you to save costs. When it comes to doing your floor, your decking, right? You can go and rent the wood instead of purchasing the wood, especially if you're not doing like some apartments or you're not constructing like some estates, etc. You're building just once. Then sometimes it doesn't make so much sense to go and buy the wood because you won't use it again. So you're going to rent it, and that saves you money. So let me know your experience when it comes to working with artisans who always ask you to go and rent materials. How annoying is that? Comment below. Let me know. Now, the next hidden cost that many people don't anticipate, especially people in the diaspora when they want to build in Ghana, is land guard cost and cost of security on your building project. So let me explain. Land guards are people who feel that they have a claim to the land or they want to protect the land. So sometimes, even if you've legitimately purchased the land, you've done all your documentation and everything, they'll come to your sites once in a while and say, oh, they are the ones who protect the area, who watch over the area, who provide security, blah, 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 a lot of noise. And every time they come, they want you to give them some money and all that. This can be very annoying. Imagine they come in a group of 5 or 10 and you need to give everybody like 50 cedis. That is 500 Ghana cedis every time you go to the site. That's crazy and it's unsustainable. Sometimes they come once in a month. Sometimes like it's just annoying because you have bought your land, you've registered it, you have the right to build, you've gotten your building permit. But these people will still come, sometimes seize the tools of your workers and all that. And it's just frustrating, very, very frustrating. And some of them can even get violent when you don't give them money, right? Because most of them are addicted to drugs and alcohol and things like that. So you need to watch out for them. And even putting security measures in place will also cost you money. And so what you can do to avoid these things is to, one, make sure that you do your due diligence or thorough research on the area that you're going to purchase the land or the uncompleted building or house or whatever before you actually start any work, right? And find out if there's a history of land guards, there's a history of conflicts and all these things in the area. If you are somebody who has a very very low tolerance for those things, then you can avoid such an area. However, if you do end up meeting them for whatever reason, what you can do is to identify who the leader is and then isolate him and then tell him that you are not going to be tolerating these things. This time you may give it to them, but the next time you are not going to be giving them any money. And you need to be strong when it comes to building in Ghana, because when they see that you are weak, they'll keep coming and they'll be wasting your finances, right? So identify the leader. Don't talk to everybody, because sometimes they can come in large mobs. They can come in 10, 20 people, etc. And you get confused. So just say, who is the leader? You want to talk to the person. And you change like 10 CDs and you give it to them. Or like 100 CDs, you give it to him to go and share with his people, right? Then you also go and report to the police, so that the next time that they come, you have a contact at the police station that you can call and the people can come to your aid, especially if they want to be violent and seize the tools of your workers, which causes rework, delays, and all that. Let me know what your experience with land guards has been. I've experienced them once or twice on my building project. Most of the time, I'm not there, so the workers will give them something. Sometimes the workers even drive them away. Once they came to seize the tools, I got angry and I went to report them to the police. And after that, they never came back. So yeah, you need to be really, really strong, especially if you're also like a woman. And many a times they feel women are vulnerable, sometimes timid and stuff like that. So they want to take advantage of you. But you need to be strong to be able to build in Ghana, especially when it comes to issues of land guards. Now, the fifth hidden cost is the cost of rework. Now, this is the cost of redoing or correcting work that has been done poorly or wrongly by your contractor or workers. Rework can result from poor design, faulty materials, low quality workmanship, lack of supervision, or changes in requirements. Rework can waste your time and money and materials and affect the overall quality and durability of your house. Now, to prevent this problem, it is vital to hire a trustworthy, experienced expert when it comes to any area of the building project, whether it is plumbing, electricals, masons, everything. Try and always get the best people. How do you get the best people? Because if you're just starting out, you don't really know anybody unless you get recommendations. But then working with a contractor helps you to avoid some of these pitfalls, because the contractor has been working with these people for a long time. He knows those which are good for a particular area, those which are not good. He knows their strengths and weaknesses, and then he can help you to get good value for your money as well. So if you come to us, for example, we can help to manage and supervise your building project so that you can avoid some of these rework costs. If you found this video helpful, like it and comment below which tip you found best. Now, we did an interview with somebody who was building in Ghana, a 5-bedroom house all the way from the UK. And she shared so many tips. So click on this video to watch that interview and see you on that video. Thanks, people.